30 days ago today, I launched my app called BlockWalk, which blocks all of your distracting apps until you hit your daily step goal. And in this video, I want to talk about the 5 mistakes that I learned, things that I would have done differently starting over from day one. So if you're building a product and this sounds interesting to you, stick around and we'll get right into it. I want to start off the video by saying most of the stuff that you see online is complete and utter bullshit. A lot of the stuff, if you are scrolling through X, LinkedIn, Instagram, any of those platforms where people are saying 30, 40, 50, 60K months, 100K MRR months, and they've gotten it in 3 months, most of that is either faked or they have been at it for 8 years or some insane amount of time where they have had a bunch of attempts to finally have one that reaches that. So just to set the expectation, I think a lot of people get misled by a lot of the podcasts and posts out there into what is realistic. So with that being said, let's jump into the 5 things I would have done differently. So number 1 would be to lean into discomfort. As a designer myself, I tend to, when I don't know what I should be doing, to default to doing design, to tweak an onboarding experience, to add a feature, to make something visually look better, to polish the marketing site, and do anything but what I should be doing. And in reality, I've realized that the discomfort of marketing is in reality what I should be doing. We always try to chase what is familiar to us because it's easier, when in reality, chasing comfort never moves us closer to where we want to be. Number 2 is to stop chasing perfection and having the perfect thing to work on. For me, over this last month, I got very caught up in what's the perfect marketing thing I should be doing? Or is this the best optimal use of my time? Or if I spend 2 hours reworking a video, is that a good use of my time? Or should I be reaching out on Reddit? Or should I be formulating an influencer list? And then I would just go in circles around and around in my head of, I don't know what I should be doing. And if I'm doing anything other than marketing, I'm being bad. And it just goes in this cyclical cycle, right? And so I think at the end of the month, what I came to realize is that anything that is marketing related is okay to be working on. It helps my brain realize that I'm not going to have it all figured out in the beginning, and that's okay. And so as long as I am putting my time and energy towards things focused on distribution, that is a good use of time. Once one of these channels gives me signal that that is where my energy and focus should be, that is where I then double, triple, quadruple down on and give all of my energy and effort into that. And so number 3 is to get hyper specific on who you're targeting. Over the last 30 days, I've been creating between 2 to 4 shorts every single day and posting them, trying out different content angles. I did nostalgia content. I did showing the product. I did relatable POVs. I tried to do a bunch of these different things, and none of them have really worked when it comes to driving downloads. And what I've realized in that is you need to be super specific with what messaging and pain point you're talking to for a specific person. Otherwise, there is no reason for them to download your app, right? So I can't just do general messaging everywhere and expect that that's going to talk to somebody's specific pain point. And so often throughout my design career, I know you have to talk to a very specific user, you have to understand their pain points, you have to talk to them and understand them to drive the outcomes that you want. And in this whole process of being a founder, I kind of lost that a little bit myself of realizing I'm just shotgunning everywhere rather than trying to pick a few key personas and really speak to their pain points, not only with the product, but with the marketing. And so if I were to go back 30 days ago, I would pick out 3, maybe just 2 target user groups and make sure that every piece of content that I make and produce and edit speaks directly to the pain points and the struggles that those specific ICPs are facing. Lesson number 4 here is don't get caught up in the views. I lost track over the last month of what views meant and what their purpose was. So I was creating early on these nostalgia videos that were getting a lot of views, but they were not driving any downloads. And I got so lost in the fact that like these were the most viewed videos that I've ever gotten. You know, they were getting 50, 100,000 some occasionally, but they weren't driving downloads. I was trying to plug in BlockWalk into them. I was trying to find little spins and comparisons on them, but no matter what I did, it just wasn't driving downloads. And I tried for a couple weeks straight of only those kind of videos, and the views were doing good and the followers were coming in, but I lost sight of what the goal and the purpose was to essentially get people to download and convert on the app. And so all that to be said, if going back, I don't want to get lost in the views, and I don't want anybody watching. Don't get caught up in the views. Don't lose the mission of what you're making these videos for. It's very easy the first time you go viral, or the first time you get a lot of views on a video that you've never had. If you were getting 100, 200 views and all of a sudden you get something that's like 40,000, you just want to chase that shiny object, when in reality, if it's not driving conversions or it's not doing the job that it's supposed to, then it's pretty much a waste of your time. And then the last one, number 5 here on our list, is that I should have set up tracking and data from day one. When I launched, I just wanted to get up as fast as possible. And so I kind of punted getting data tracking in there till about 3 weeks in. And that was a big mistake because I got downloads within the first 3 weeks. Probably 3/4 of my downloads came within the first 3 weeks of getting the product up and launching it and talking about it. And I don't have data from where those sources were coming in, and other than just what the Apple App Store gives you. And so if I would have just added in the single screen that I did now, which was where did you find us, I would have a much better representation of where my users and downloads are coming from, because when they download the app, they go through the onboarding, they tell you where they were found. I can then say, okay, these videos, these types that I put out drove people to download and then go through the onboarding. And then I can know that is where I need to focus my time and energy. So if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you being here. A couple little things to wrap us up. If you look at the videos online, like we talked about in the beginning of this video, and you feel overwhelmed and you feel kind of sad about things and your success of your product is not the same as them, remember those podcasts, cherry pick the best of the best, because it makes the best content for their channel, right? So don't feel like that is the normal. It is not, and I realize that myself, which is also why I spend a lot less time on X than I ever have before, because I do believe there's a lot of bullshit on there and that people just are lying about it, or aren't fully telling the truth of what that stuff is. And so being very cognizant of that. To end this video, would love to know in the comments from you guys, what things have you learned the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time you have launched a product? What are things you've tried and failed at, or what are reflections or things you wish you would have done differently? That would be great. Comment below. Thanks a bunch for being here. We'll talk to you next time. See you next week. Peace.